about 84, this fisherman walked into the back of the kitchen named Bruce Gore. And Bruce Gore was promoting FAS, king salmon and silver salmon. FAS means frozen at sea. So Bruce was very, very particular, and this is a long time ago, in the way he harvested the fish. They were frozen within 18 hours of being out of the water. So they were frozen on purpose, not frozen as the last resort to be able to sell the fish. Then there was another guy that was very influential, Chuck Bundren. And at that time, Chuck was just getting started with Trident and was a big king crab supplier. So Chuck would literally deliver king crab to us out of the back of his family station wagon. There was a guy named Mac Yamagata who turned us on to the idea of sake kasu, very traditional Japanese thing.
Well, the process of making the sable fish in sake kasu is historical. I think that Ray's definitely brought it to the Northwest. The process is taking the aftermath of the sake making process, so the mash, and we just take that and we mix it with a little bit of sugar and some water. The fish itself is filleted when it comes into sides, and then we salt cure it. We try to salt cure it for about 8 hours. It's rinsed, and then the fish is then cut into portions, whatever size we're using, 8 to 6 ounce. And then it is submerged in the actual paste that we've created from the sake leaves. That marinade has essential sugars, and it just kind of caramelizes on the fish, and it gives it that added depth of flavor.
There was a guy named Hump Nelson who in 1983 or 4 was older than I am today, but he had grown up as an oysterman in South Puget Sound, along with another fellow named Dwayne Fagergren, who was an oysterman. The Olympias were all grown on beaches, so a lot of handwork. So we got to go down and spend time sorting through Olympias with them. Then there was a thought, either with John Raleigh or myself or with Monty or with the whole group over a good bottle of wine, that maybe there were some writers from New York City that we could entice to come out and take a look at what we have in the Northwest. So with no strings attached, we offered an opportunity for this couple to come to the Northwest. I flew them around Puget Sound and showed them the things that we had here. The Hoag brothers took them to Eastern Washington. I think 2 or 3 months after their visit, there was an 8-page article about the bounty of the Northwest and the young chefs that were here taking advantage of this incredible product that came from the land and the sea in the local area. So that was the beginning of the definition of what we call today Northwest cuisine.
Well, John did the same thing. He found some Olympia oysters. They grow naturally out here in the South Sound, and they were harvested almost to extinction, and they again were put into jars and put on the grocery store shelves because they were abundant. You can walk down the beach and pick them up, and they were almost extinct. And he had to convince oyster growers to grow them, and from a seed to an adult Olympia oyster is 4 to 5 years. So in order to convince the shellfish farmers to plant these, he had to come up with demand. So he had a grower grow some, and 4 years later, they harvested them. And I believe this is 1983. He did a large promotion here, again, trusting Ray's and us trusting John with the quality and him trusting Ray's with the execution. We partnered and did a media-only event for the entire West Coast where we offered only thing on the menu was Olympia oysters on the half shell and Schramsberg sparkling wine from California. It was a huge hit, made the New York Times, helped build the industry, helped shellfish farmers understand that it is a profitable thing, helped the guests understand that it is worth the price. They're really unique, and it's neat to have something rebound like that.